Hey, what's going on, guys? Jeff Koga here, and it is a Monday morning. Time right now is a little past 9 o'clock, and this video is going to be about hygiene, okay? I'm not talking about BO hygiene, but hygiene, and when it comes to hygiene of actually your list, and I'll get into details about that. But first off, I don't know if you noticed this or not. I got a haircut this weekend, and it's pretty bad because I feel like, I swear to you, I feel like I walked through where my head went into a freaking weed whacker and went and chopped it all up, okay? And the reason why is the barber shop that I always go to, they were closed for remodeling. They're going to be closed for the next 2 weeks or so. And so I walked across to a different one, and I went into one, and the problem was we had I guess a language barrier with the barber and myself, and because I told them, don't give me a high fade, keep it low. And she said to me, she said, not too high of a fade? And I said, yes, not too high of a fade. And she said, not too high of a fade. And next thing you know, zzz, and I'm like, oh God, no. So that's what happened. So I'm very tad bit embarrassed. But anyways, back to the topic, okay? This week's episode, on this video, I'm going to cover over list hygiene. List hygiene is very, very important, I believe, in any business, matter of fact, is because I believe we are in the data-based business, right? We're in the new information age where data is available everywhere, but you as the business owner, you as an entrepreneur, and especially if you're in the real estate business, your ability to be able to see trends and be able to see changes by using data is going to give you the #1 advantage over the rest of the competition, especially if you're a growing real estate investment company, I believe. Why? Because there's a huge gap between, I call them mom and pop investors, I call them the guys that are coming into the business now and so forth, and versus the big heavy dog players that are doing multi-bajillion dollars in real estate deals. And there's a huge gap. Why? Because some folks won't run their real estate investment business as a true business. They're a one-man show and so forth, versus folks that have a solid team, and they know the team members know exactly what to do and so forth. And the bottom line is, it still boils down to that information and how you analyze that information. And here's what I mean when I say list hygiene, okay? And it's something that we just literally recently just started, and list hygiene, and I'll use in this case an example as our buyers list, right? Our buyers list has an email list of I say about 5,000 or so of unique buyers locally here in Los Angeles. So when we need to unload a property, we can unload a property very, very quickly because we're plugged into a huge network of folks that we've gone ahead and collected emails in multitudes of ways. Now this video is going to go over some of the real intricacy of when it comes to email marketing, and when it comes to actually getting your email even into your investor's inbox. Because if you do not know this, 80% of all emails that are sent now are considered to be all spam over all ESP, or the big ESP providers. Now, if you don't know what ESP means, it means email, what was it called? Email providers. What the heck is ESP? I don't even know. Email service providers. Yes. Okay. So see, I'm looking at the notes on my screen. So ESP, and the ESP actually have their own spam filters. So I'm going to go over with you on a couple of things on how you can get through the spam filters, how you can make sure that your emails are getting in front of folks, okay? And a couple of things that you need to actually absolutely be aware of, okay? #1 thing, okay, is your domain and your IPs, okay? You need to have a trusted IP and a domain that is trusted, because why? Because if you have a blacklisted domain, your email will never reach your client's email inbox, okay? So then how the heck do you know if your IP or your email is blacklisted? Now, a lot of times that I've worked with a lot of investors who's actually learning from us and learning what we're doing, instantaneously when I pull up their score, most of the time folks are emailing, but they have a bad IP. And then on top of that, they have a bad score, so their emails are never reaching folks, and they're wondering why they can never unload properties, right? So how do you look at the score? Well, go to senderscore.org. That's SENDER score.org, and then you can go ahead and see your report card on what type of score you have when it comes to deliverability. And now another place that you can go to is www.mxtoolbox.com, where you can actually pull up your IP and then actually physically look at your score there. Now the score that you want to stay above is 97, meaning that you want to stay above 97, because if you're anything less than 97 on the score, Yahoo won't accept your email. And for some odd reason, all you real estate professionals out there, I don't know why, but you guys always seem to be using Yahoo all the time. I don't know why. So that's number one. Okay, make sure that you have a very good score when it comes to deliverability for your domain and your IP. Number two, okay, is the ESP algorithm, meaning that each big email service provider has their own algorithm when it comes to the protecting the actual inboxes of their users, right? Or they call spam filters. So you have to understand how those spam filters work. Otherwise, your emails will never reach the client that you're looking for, okay? So then the question is this, right? When they say only 12% of all people who opt in, meaning that if you have a squeeze page, if you don't know what a squeeze page is, then that's for a whole nother video. If you don't know what it is, leave me a comment and I'll explain to you briefly. So if you have a squeeze page, if you're using PPC advertisement, you're doing either media buys or whatever the heck that you're doing to actually generate your leads, most of the time if you send them to a squeeze page on an opt-in page, they're saying only about 12% of people actually put in their real primary email address. Obviously some folks will not go ahead and put in so people do things like double opt-in, right, to verify it's a good email address, all that other stuff. But the point of the matter is this, is that, you need to have funnels so that way you can collect proper email addresses, because if you keep on getting, email addresses that are fake, then you end up emailing to them, and for what, right? Because you have email credits with most email blasters that you have, and if you have a 10,000 list and 88% of those, because only 12% of people put in real email address, if you're emailed to 88% of those, why the heck are you even wasting your credits emailing to them when it's a fake email address, right? Because the email service providers, they are charging you for those credits. You get what I'm saying? So make sure that you understand their algorithm. And number three is the stop words, okay? Meaning that in the copy of your email, okay, if you put in certain words like free, right, you're instantaneously stopped. Okay, you're not going to get through to the email inbox. So to get around that, you can put in things like free, but then put in dashes between the R and the E and stuff like that, and you can do that. And then number four, the fourth thing that you need to be very, very careful about when it comes to email hygiene is the spam complaints, okay? The huge ESP providers like Yahoo, AOL, Hotmail, MSN, and once again, I don't know why y'all realtors always use these 4 email service providers, but if you do, you can only have 1 complaint per every 1,000 emails, okay? And for some odd reason, we have a lot of emails on our buyers list, but there's always consistently this one person that keeps on hitting the complaint button for ours, and I have no idea who the heck that is. But luckily enough, finally I dug and found out who it was, and I guess it was one of the competitors that maybe just didn't like us. So they kept on hitting the complaint button. I don't know why. So we took them off the list because we kept on getting our account shut down with eye contact, and it's not a good feeling when you have to always contact them, be like, look, listen, please reactivate the account, yada, yada, yada. So truth be told, I've been shut down by eye contact more than a handful of times. So those are the things, okay. Now, the question is, why is that important, right? To keeping good hygienes of your list. In our case right now, what we're going to do is segment it into 3 lists, meaning our main list, folks that continuously open our emails without any complaints. The second one is folks that open once in a while. And then the last one is basically what I call a dead or comatose list, where the folks that for whatever odd reason never open our email, right? So why email them? So in our case, we have 3 email server providers. So one, obviously, our main one is going to go through our main service provider that has the highest deliverability rate. And then the last one is we're going to use a different sub-email server that we're going to do to rekindle a relationship by sending them very good content. So, obviously if they're investors and stuff like that, and they're not accustomed to having a bunch of emails, right? And we send out a lot of emails. So if they get SDRs, they might be turned off and they might be hitting the spam complaint, or might be not hitting their email inbox. So we're going to change some couple stuff up and having them and cleaned up. Now, why is this very important, right? It's this, is that if you have, let's just say for easy's sake, I say 1,000 emails, right? And if you're even at 10% of open rate, that means that you only added 1,000, right? Only 100 people open your emails, right? 100 people, right? So if you only have 100 people open your emails and you need to unload a property, 100 people, okay, 100 eyeballs, maybe that's good, okay? But what if you can jump and pump up that open rate from the 10% to maybe even 15 or even 20%, or some of our campaigns that we have plus 40% campaigns, even plus 50% campaigns, meaning that 1,000 emails that you sent out jump from 100 to jump to 200, or maybe even possibly jumped all the way up to 500 people that are looked at it. So that delta difference, you're looking at about 100 to even 300 to even 400, 500 people that are looked at your email. So obviously, more folks who look at your email is going to have a much better, higher rate of you being able to unload a property and to getting your message across. And the beauty of this, sometimes when people don't realize what I do, is like, look at this, right? Some of the stuff that I have here is, I don't know if you see this or not, made you look, right, is basically a list of all the subject lines that I have that I kept track of from other folks and stuff like that, with the highest open rate that I've seen in the industry. So I use that to actually blast out properties. Now the other side of this is that I have another thing called my instant swipe file. So I use this a lot. As you can see, it's pretty beat up, and I use this when I send out emails for the company all the freaking time. Why? Because if the emails are not open, I have about zero opportunity to be able to unload a property, and that's where the name of the game is. More people who actually sees your email and actually opens your emails, you have the higher ability to be able to unload the property, and that's what I call email hygiene. And I would recommend you bathe your email list also. So Jeff Co here, and this coming up Tuesday, we're changing up the format for Flippinese TV, where the last 10 episodes, we've been actually more out in the field. I don't know if you have noticed that or not, showing you projects. Obviously, we've got a lot more projects going on, but only showing you some key ones. Why? Because it's the story behind it, where folks can actually see the tremendous value on that. So that's the reason why we showed those projects. And then also, the new format is going to be more of actually seeing the details of the business, like screenshots, screen videos, so that way you can physically learn certain things. So this Tuesday, we're covering two things. One is actually physically how to pull permits with the click of a button. So we'll show you exactly how to do that. And then also we'll show you a super cool tool that I've been using literally for almost over 2 years now, that I've used to actually build rapport very quickly with folks in the real estate business and even outside the real estate business. And it's a pretty sneaky tool that if it's in the wrong hands, they may use it badly, right? So, but it's a pretty cool tool. So just watch out for that for this coming up Tuesday. It'll air tomorrow actually, so look out for that. And leave me a comment. We'd love to hear. If first off, do you have even a database? Do you collect data? If so, how many people are on your email list? And then the other side is, do you physically clean and do an email hygiene list where you actually bathe your list to actually scrub them down to see who's doing what and so forth, and even go to a point where we're actually tagging emails now where folks that are interested in commercial building versus only mom and pop, $100,000, $200,000 homes versus multi-million-dollar homes, and we're tagging everyone who opens them or emails, so that way we know when we need to blast out a property in certain areas, that they're interested in certain areas, we can instantaneously do it and get emails to folks that are looking to take down properties that we may not want to and stuff like that. So, but long story short, would love to hear from you. Leave me a comment and let me know if you like this type of first format where we're giving you more concrete details on the nitty-gritty stuff instead of more theory-wise, right? Because I got a message actually from folks saying we want some more nitty-gritty details on what you do. So decided to go ahead and give you this stuff, and I believe there's tremendous value because I personally seen my business explode once I clicked and understood what email hygiene and everything else email marketing is all about. So Jeff Koga on this Monday with Jacked Up Hair Monday, and I will see you this Tuesday. Take care.